All right, so doing the calling on these leads is one of the keys to making this successful for sure. So, and this can be kind of a hard part. You have to find a good phone caller, somebody that is like a robot. They just call and they call and they call and they don't waste time. You know, we had 2 girls at one time doing this in our office, and one girl was always scheduling almost twice as many people as the other girl was every day, and I couldn't figure out what the difference was. And what I finally figured out was they were saying things a little bit differently, which we got that corrected, but the numbers were still way off, and it was listening to them both without them really realizing that I was one day. And what I found is the girl that was scheduling the most was just holding the phone by her head, dialing, and if she didn't get somebody, she hung up, she dialed again, hung up, and she never put the phone down. The other girl was putting the phone down and looking around and playing around for a little bit and then picking it up. I mean, it really just came down to the number of phone calls. So you want somebody that doesn't care if someone says no and they just keep calling. And basically what they're doing is they're calling is saying, you know, hi, such and such, you won, a free dinner at, this restaurant. Do you remember filling out that card the other day? Yeah, I do. And, they're usually pretty excited and say, you're allowed to bring, family members and guests with you. How many people will you be bringing along with you? And so they would tell them that. And then usually the person would ask, like, what is the dinner all about? What are we talking about there? And so we were really open and honest. They'd say, Dr. Mike's going to be talking about, health and how to get on a better pathway or whatever, whatever we were talking about at that particular dinner. And we wanted to make sure that everybody was, clear about what was happening. We don't want people coming to the dinner like they got fooled thinking it was a dinner just for them. And then they show up and there's a whole bunch of people there and they're mad like that, because it's hard to overcome that. So I think you want to be clear about what is happening there. And I don't think there's any issue with that as you're going along. So, the calls are pretty simple to do, really. I mean, there's nothing complex about it. The problem is just being consistent with it. Each day, they're going to have to put quite a few hours into doing the calls, and expect that at least half the people that you schedule for the dinner are not going to show up. It's just how it is. So if you want 30 people, let's say you want 20 people at your dinner, if you only call 20, you schedule 20, like, yes, we got 20 scheduled, you'll have about 5 there, or 7 or 8. So you need to schedule about 40 or 50, and then you'll have 20 there. If you want to have 30 there, you're going to need to schedule about 70 or 80, and you'll get 30 or 40. So that's just how that goes. Some days, obviously, they'll surprise you and there'll be more people there. And then other days you'll have scheduled 40 or 50 and you'll have 8 there. So, doing confirmation calls the day before, those kind of things, like everything you can do there makes a difference. I think it would even be a good idea to even send like a little mailer to them if you can, if you have enough time to get that out to them. That has like tickets to the dinner in it or something like that. That's not a bad idea. I know we did that too. But that's that part of dinner. That's kind of how you get it initially set up. And in the next videos, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how to get it set up with the restaurant and some of those things.